What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about the Season 1 cutscene from Modern Warfare 3, some very interesting discoveries, plus even more. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of brand new content going up over on dkdynamite.com, expanding on all the coverage you're seeing here on the channel, just in the form of articles on the website, and plenty of tweets, of course, every single hour on Detonated's Twitter. Now, real quickly, for those out there that were missing any XP tokens for their Battle Pass, or for those that were experiencing inconsistent XP gains since launch, as of right now, extra XP tokens are rolling out to compensate for that. So every double Battle Pass XP token you might have used between launch and I guess now has been reimbursed to you, since those XP rates probably weren't consistent or weren't accurate to what they should have been. So for those out there that were confused about their tokens, check your in-game token tab right now to make sure you're reimbursed all the ones that you may have been missing. But shout out to the amazing PR team over at Call of Duty for being so kind and sending out a pre-Season 1 package here. As you can see, the letter says, Call of Duty has taken over your plans. You've packed a punch in Urzikstan. Hopefully, though, your close ones don't mind all those camos you've had to grind. Before more wins get served, take a minute and give those hands the love they deserve. So, obviously, fitting the little theme here of Thanksgiving, they have an awesome hand warmer here in this package. So, definitely got to get warmed up for the major launch we have on December the 6th. We've been able to play Urzikstan early, of course, through zombies, but for those that want to play it in Battle Royale or maybe even Plunder, that'll be coming to the big Warzone expansion and overhaul that's releasing just a week from now. But there's just so much marketing left to go for MW3 Season 1, especially when it comes to the Warzone side of things. So I believe not only are we going to end up getting a ton of information packed into one blog post for every game mode, MP, Zombies, and Warzone, we're probably also going to get separate blog posts for Warzone and Urzikstan and a bunch of the major quality of life changes. There's going to be massive patch notes, which at COD Next, they got described to be some of the biggest patch notes in COD history, plus probably a separate blog talking about the big updates coming to Zombies. Now, this video is pretty narrative focused, and the Modern Warfare 2 post-launch story last year was interesting to say the least. The narrative that was seemingly teased by the end of the game's campaign with Makarov, that got followed up on pretty well in Modern Warfare 3's new campaign, sure, but there was another plot happening with the raids, which gave Farah and Alex some new narrative considering their lack of appearances in the initial campaign, and helped bridge the gap from the MW2 campaign to the Modern Warfare 3 one. So I was a fan of that. There were some cool things teased in the raids, such as the connections to Perseus, which I believe are probably going to be followed up on more later in MW3's post-launch, to also help set up something in Black Ops 2024. There's also a story that took place over the course of the Warzone cinematic cutscenes, which seemingly tied in with the raids as well, at least towards the end with Shadow Siege. I think a nice bow around the entire post-launch narrative was with the Shadow Siege event, because again, you brought in Farah and Alex as leads for that event, and you also brought Graves back, which was cool to see everything come full circle with the Modern Warfare 2 narrative. But the thing is, most if not all of this narrative is followed up on in the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, even a small tease that we get in the Season 4 cutscene, which introduces us to Melina, a character that we then see again in, I believe it's just one Modern Warfare 3 mission. One cutscene in particular, though, the Season 3 cinematic, sets up a narrative that wasn't even remotely mentioned in the Modern Warfare 3 campaign, and that's Valeria breaking out of prison, leading Alejandro and Rudy, who were in Las Almas, to go after her, right? There was no mention of Alejandro, sadly, in Modern Warfare 3's campaign, but I believe once he hears about Johnny's death at some point in the future, that's going to be crazy to see, right? Something that DMZ actually established is that Melina was the one who introduced Valeria and Makarov in order to smuggle the gas stolen from the Shadow Siege event into Europe. The final mission of the Modern Warfare 3 campaign does confirm that gas was indeed smuggled into Europe, so that was indeed canon. Then the final mission of Modern Warfare 3 shows that the bombs and the gas made their way in, but Melina's fate after snitching on Makarov is up in the air right now. It's unknown what happened to her after those events, but as of now, as I covered recently, Melina is rumored to end up becoming a playable operator at some point in the future, so she without a doubt will have a role at some point in MW3's post-launch. Now, the Valeria actress, Maria Elisa Camargo, I hope I said her name correctly, she actually just shared a new picture a couple of days ago while holding a clapperboard that shows the MW2 and 3 logo on it. So this has fans speculating that she'll be returning in the near future, obviously in a seasonal cinematic cutscene if it's for Modern Warfare 3. If you guys are like, wait, why is there an IW logo on the clapperboard? How does that make sense if Sledgehammer is leading Modern Warfare 3? Well, obviously Modern Warfare 3 is a big collaboration between IW and Sledge, so it's likely that for the post-launch narrative or for many aspects of the game, they've filmed things in-house at Infinity Ward, not at Sledgehammer. That's probably what's going on, but this is massive to address that narrative from Season 3 last year, which never got followed up on again. It's almost as if each seasonal cutscene for MW2 was telling its own story, right? The Season Season 1 cutscene was about Al-Mazrah, Season 2 was about Ashika, Season 3 was Valeria, Alejandro, then Season 4 went into Vandal with the introduction of the Peacekeepers, then Season 5 was a little bit more about Shadow Siege and kind of just wrapping up the MW2 story. Season 6 wasn't even canon though, that's just a fun haunting cinematic which was excellent, a lot of fun, but didn't further the narrative at all for Modern Warfare. Now there was a comment made on this post by Detonated that I thought was pretty interesting because I have seen this rumor before but never really talked about it on the podcast either. So apparently the original version of Modern Warfare 3 did feature Valeria. There was a different campaign planned apparently. So the original DLC campaign was going to take place mostly in Mexico and South America, so it's likely all of her stuff was recorded for that and will now be broken up and reused for season cinematics or what MW4 becomes. Now while we don't have proof that that was the case, I mean looking at the press recently, Bloomberg to be specific, they said that yeah, at one point MW3 was going to be a year 2 expansion and add-on to the 2022 Call of Duty, but that was quickly changed after that was discussed. So I think either way, they were planning a campaign but just didn't know how they were going to market it. Was it going to be a year 2 paid DLC or was it going to be its own Call of Duty? Either way, a campaign was going to happen. Whether that means that there was an original narrative that they had going for it that took place in Mexico, South America, and not what we got in Modern Warfare 3's new campaign, that's unknown, but that's interesting if they did film stuff for that and now could save it for the post-launch season. I personally believe that either way, they didn't really have a plan to follow up on Las Almas, Valeria, Alejandro, and Modern Warfare 3's campaign, but always plan to save that for the post-launch. That's just what I think, because either way, the MW Trilogy, the new one at least, is a bit disconnected campaign-wise, right? Narratively, they each kind of tell their own story, but they still all do interconnect, and the post-launch stories do help intertwine all of those narratives, which I'm cool with. But I think I just prefer the way Black Ops Cold War did it, and probably how Black Ops 2024 will do it, which is tell a story and campaign that follows up on some previous installments, and then have a post-launch narrative pick up right where that left off, not telling a completely standalone story that just connects because of the characters, and then waiting until season 1, 2, 3, or 4, even beyond that, to then tie all that together. I'm a fan of them keeping it pretty tight and cohesive, but hey, I'm still down for a more Modern Warfare narrative, because either way, right, what's really funny is there was a rumor a little while back that apparently Modern Warfare 3 was going to have themed seasons, meaning that we likely wouldn't get a post-launch story, but instead, each season will be focusing on an older COD title, bringing in maps, weapons, modes, and cosmetics from the COD title that season is focused on. I wouldn't have been opposed to that because it makes sense timing-wise to celebrate 20 years of the franchise to try something different like that, but then that leaves Modern Warfare 3's campaign or narrative on a cliffhanger for what? 3 years or more, if that's what's going to happen. So that would have been a bit of a double-edged sword where, yeah, maybe you have fun seasons like we got with MW2 Season 6, where it's just a non-canon narrative that just does really cool things for every game mode, but then you don't really further the story that everybody out there is waiting to hear more about. Now, I do wonder, though, if the Black Cell Valeria from Season 6 of Modern Warfare 2 will have any role to play in anything to do with Modern Warfare 3. I mean, obviously, we're still quote-unquote canon to the entire Black Ops timeline. I mean, again, I'm not going to go into this too deeply in this video, but Tagger Toten in Zombies collapsed the multiverse, created one singular universe, one timeline, so that explains how Black Ops and the new Modern Warfare are now connected. If that's the case, you know that there is a lot of advanced technology that we saw in Black Ops 2, so if there are a bunch of robotics like a Valeria one that we saw in Modern Warfare 2, that's not out of the realm of possibility to be canon. But I'm curious, right? You could see that Modern Warfare 3 logo on the clapper board, and it's not the same Modern Warfare 3 logo that we see in any of the marketing, right? I wonder if that's a version of the logo that would have been for a supposed year 2 expansion. They probably would have still labeled as Modern Warfare 3, but as like a DLC add-on for MW2. I wonder if that was the logo for it. If you guys are like, wait, why are the 3 Roman numerals green? They probably just didn't have a red marker or whatever reason. I know there's a picture of even the Makarov actor filming, and there's a blue marker used for the Modern Warfare 3 logo. That probably isn't relevant or probably just stretching here, but that logo does seem interesting, and I'm curious if that was an official logo at any point in time. There was another logo that I'll try to find concept art of if I can and put it on screen. There's another version of the Modern Warfare 3 logo that I actually like the most that was actually leaked out in some early gameplay screenshots that surfaced, and that also was changed to the one that we have now. So I think MW3 has gone through a lot of changes behind the scenes, from a year 2 expansion to a full game with a different logo, different color scheme. It's been a bit all over the place in terms of how they wanted to present the product. But people have overanalyzed this image, and apparently Valeria is going to be sitting in a chair. That's the conclusion people have drawn from what looks looks like her filming a scene while sitting or something. There's a chair right next to her. Who knows what's exactly going to happen? It's hard to judge, but what's exciting is that they're going to kick off the post-launch story with following up on a narrative that we were all really eager to hear more about after Season 3 last year, and Season 4, 5, 6 didn't even address it. I mean, at least DMZ provided some intel confirming that Valeria does know of Makarov, so that's cool that they at least use DMZ in that instance to still establish that, yeah, Valeria has some role to play in the narrative moving forward, but they just decided not to incorporate any of that plot inside of Modern Warfare 3's core campaign, but I think could set up a really interesting post-launch narrative that I'm personally really excited about. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the Season 1 cutscene for Modern Warfare 3? How are you feeling about what we know so far? The teaser from the Valeria actress. What do you think will end up getting the cutscene, right? Will it be dropped while the season drops? Will it be dropped as the season launches in-game, or are they going to release on the COD YouTube channel even sooner than that? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.